Of course.
Okay.
I'll be in my town.
Work again?
We're going to DC. No pleasure.
Can I have your attention, please? The City Commission meeting for July the 1st, first day of the month, is coming to order. First on the agenda is the roll call. We'll start with Commissioner District 1.
DeAndre Knoxon, District 1.
Barbie Tucker, District 2.
Brian Getchis, Commissioner at Large.
Abel Garza, Mayor.
Wade Johnson, Commissioner at Large. Chris Sharp, District 3.
Jason Delgado, District 4.
Next, we'll have Pastor Rudy Rios from the Temple Baptist Church lead us in the invocation. If everyone will please rise.
Thank you for standing. Let's bow our heads. Our Father in heaven, we welcome you with gratitude. We thank you for your mercy. We thank you for your patience and the way you've provided in our lives. As our nation approaches its 250th anniversary, we thank you for the blessings that we have received, for the freedoms that we enjoy, and for the generations who have labored, sacrificed, served, prayed, and built, and sometimes bled and died for the peace and the liberty that we have today in this City Hall meeting. We ask tonight that you would give us wisdom. Give that wisdom to our leaders, our commissioners, our mayor, our city staff, for our first responders, and for all of those who serve the public good. Help them to lead with humility and with courage, fairness, and clear judgment. And may their decisions be marked not by pride and not by pressure, but by the wisdom that only you can provide from heaven above. We also pray for ourselves, Lord, the people of Texas City. Father, we ask that you bless our homes, our schools, our businesses, our churches, our neighbors, and our neighborhoods. Father, where there is anxiety in this room, we ask that you bring peace. Lord, where there is division, Father, we ask that you would in this place bring understanding. Where there is need, Father, we ask that your hand provide. And where there is danger, we ask that you protect. Lord, make us a city of strong hands. Make us a city of sober minds, of generous hearts, and of peaceful streets. Teach us to seek the good of our neighbors, for them and to them, to honor what is right, to remember that every authority, every opportunity, and every day is a gift from you. We ask your blessings upon this meeting tonight. May it all be said and done and be pleasing in your sight and beneficial to the people of Texas City. It is in the precious name and by his authority, Jesus Christ, that we pray. Amen.
Amen. The Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Commissioner Jason Delgado.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you. Pastor Rios, I wanted to ask you if you had any announcement that you wish to make regarding events.
Oh, well, pray for our kids there at church camp this week. Pray for the counselors.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Were you using this one?
Thank you, Commissioner Delgado, for leading us in the pledge. The next is proclamations and presentations. We have one presentation that is a very, very important presentation because it has to do with the 250th anniversary of this great country, of this great nation. So, the proclamation reads, whereas on July the 4th, 1776, the Declaration of Independence marked the birth of the United States of America, establishing a nation founded upon the enduring principles of liberty, equality, justice, and self-government. And whereas the year 2006 marks the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, a historic milestone that celebrates 2.5 centuries of our nation's history, honors the sacrifices made to preserve our freedoms, and recognizes the democratic ideas that continue to unite and inspire Americans. And whereas this quincentennial provides an opportunity to reflect on our shared history, celebrate the countless individuals whose contributions have strengthened our nation, and encourage future generations to uphold the values of civic responsibilities, patriotism, and service to their communities. And whereas the people of Texas City are proud to join the communities across the nation in commemorating this historic anniversary and reaffirming our commitment to our unity, civic engagement, and the continued promise of American democracy. And now, therefore, I, Abel Garza, Mayor of the City of Texas City, on behalf of the City Commission, do hereby recognize and commemorate the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence and encourage all residents to reflect upon our nation's history, celebrate the enduring spirit of independence, honor those whose sacrifices have preserved our freedoms, and participate in activities that commemorate this historic occasion while inspiring future generations to carry forward the idea upon which our nation was founded. In testimony whereof, witness my hand and the seal of the City of Texas City, this, the first day of July 2026, signed by me, Abel Garza, attested by the City Secretary, Ramar Lee. I want to make this presentation to Ms. Nicole Miller. If she would come forward, please. Ms. Nicole Miller, being that you are responsible for the city to do everything that's going on with all the activities and the events, we cannot thank you enough for where your heart really truly lies, and that's in this great country. We present you with this.
Thank you, I'm honored.
Thank you. Next on the agenda, we have a report by the Texas City Museum, Recreation and Tourism.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Shelby. If I haven't officially met everybody, I'm the curator over at the Texas City Museum. The museum does operate under the Parks, Recreation, and Tourism Department as well. And I'm very excited to boast a little bit about the museum tonight. All right. So, at the Texas City Museum, we truly strive to be the center of Texas City culture, history, and education through a few different efforts. Through preservation of our current artifact collections, as well as collecting donated artifacts. Through rotating exhibits that we curate from those artifacts. Events, programming, research, not only for exhibits, but any inquiries. And then we also do guided tours, and I do presentations both on-site at the museum and off-site as well. A few different programs and events that I wanted to highlight. These are all newer to the museum in the past year and a half. We've really taken off with an adaptive recreation. So every other month we invite people with disabilities to come to the museum. We offer accommodations for mobility, sensory, and communication. And just as a way to make sure the museum is accessible to as many people as possible. We've done a ton of stuff this past year. We did a Letters to Space program. We did a history roundup event where we invited the community to come bring their items that they wanted digitized by not only us, but our historical partners like the Moore Memorial Public Library. We've done craft days. We recently had Pilates Day at the museum. Again, anything to get people engaged with history. Up and coming, we have artifact still life painting. We have Crochet with Carolyn, who is our assistant curator. And we have Tuesday talks starting next week through July. Every Tuesday, I or a guest will be giving presentations on local history specific to Texas City. And even more recently, we've joined up with the communications department as well as the Moore Memorial Public Library to create Texas City Tells History Uncovered. So a couple of times a month, you can see us go a little bit deeper into local history. We maintain permanent exhibits within the museum, quite a few. We have Civil War Dahlgren Cannon exhibit, we have early Texas City schools, 1947 disaster, model trains, and more as well. On top of the permanent exhibits, one effort that I've put into action in the past year and a half is to increase our rotating exhibits that are specifically curated from our collection, things that typically wouldn't be seen because they are in artifact storage, right? So we aim to have 7 to 8 a year, which keeps us really busy. We just wrapped up our Wrangling Freedom, the legacy of the 1867 settlement. Starting Friday, we will have Texas City Then and Now to celebrate the 250th birthday of our nation. We're also going to look at the past 250 years of Texas City and the surrounding area's history. We will also have a traveling exhibit from Humanities Texas to coincide with that. We've had tons of exhibits this year: Sound of History, Holiday Treasures, 1947 Disaster. Though that is a permanent exhibit, we do expand upon that in April to show more of what we have in the collections as well. We also help oversee the historic homes both in the 1867 Settlement District as well as Heritage Square Park. So that covers the Bell Home, Davison Home, Engineers Cottage, and the Moore Home. We work alongside Parks and Public Works to maintain that. So this is a look at the daily admission. At the top, we have the daily admission for the museum itself. Underneath it is Heritage Square Park. Once a month, typically the first Saturday, unless there is a holiday, we'll do it on the second Saturday. We'll open the Davison Home for public tours. So here, the admission for the museum ranges from $4 to $7 a person, and for Heritage Square, $2 for adult and $1 per child. We do also offer annual memberships to the museum, which allows members to visit as much as they'd like throughout the year for most of our events as well. In October, we host Train Show, and that is additional, but outside of that, we want to, using our rotating exhibits and programming, we want to encourage people to return as much as possible. So this is a brief look at the attendance over the past 5 years. This graph in particular is up to date up to June 18th. So we are on track to meet or exceed the 2024 to 2025 fiscal year attendance. And this is the attendance for the historic homes. So there has been a slight drop. There have been some ongoing construction projects for preservation at Heritage Square Park, so that has resulted in some closures. And further, with the Bell Home, typically there is a settlement celebration in October. The descendants, the Bell family descendants, opted not to do it this past October, but we are looking forward to it returning this October as well. And I would like to open it for any questions.
Any questions from the commission?
Mayor, I have a question or two. Yeah. If we could go backwards, City Secretary, to the attendance, what is the seasonality of actually the previous one? Yeah, right there. I would guess in the spring and the fall, do we see more attendance, or is it the summer? What's kind of describe the seasonality of it?
Yeah, so I would say really spring and summer tends to be higher attendance. We are trying to make it more year-round steady through, I keep harping on the temporary exhibits. That might be because I'm a history nerd, but we are trying to kind of balance it out throughout the year by instilling more programs in fall, right? So to make a short story long, we do seem to see that summer tends to be the higher attendance months.
We have that history nerdness in common. Trust me on that. I'm quite the history nerd. Is there something that we could do to address that attendance fall off? Like, is it something that we could do as the commission or the city to help you drive more visibility and increase the awareness of the public or tourism?
Yeah, I would invite everybody to come visit the museum. I would love to have y'all come see it so you know more of what you're advocating for. I personally, and I might be biased, I think it's a phenomenal museum. And I would love to invite y'all. We can work with communications too, potentially, and see if we can put something together.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Yeah.
And I know the cost is minimal, but is that prohibitive to any groups? or people?
I haven't had any direct vocalization from anybody that would suggest that. We do offer 3 free days a year. Our next one will be this Friday, actually. So that kind of helps balance it out too. If somebody calls and they want to visit, but they're unsure of pricing, then we can give them our future dates. So we do try to offer also financial accessibility.
And I'd like to work with you on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
If it's prohibitive to any group or...
Absolutely, yeah, thank you.
Hey, related to that, I'm reminded that school field trips to NASA, to Seawolf Park as a child, those things were profoundly impactful to me.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a part of those numbers? Do you see interest from, and are you doing a lot of
Yes.
field trips?
Yeah, a primary amount of our tours is senior groups because they have a little bit more flexibility to come throughout the week, right? But we have seen an increase in tours specifically this year, and a lot of that is school tours. So historically, school tours are actually free to TCISD schools, which I think really helps with that as well. It makes the history more accessible to the students. So yeah, I do, those are included in there, and it seems that year over year, we're getting more and more traction with tours.
Do we have school board members plugged into your organization in some way, or what visibility? I think we might have some school board members in the audience.
Yeah, I don't officially now. If we do have anybody in the audience, please meet up with me after the.
I'll introduce you to some.
Okay, excellent, thank you.
Any further questions? Thank you so much. That was very informative, and I
Absolutely.
would be the first to say the library is, the museum is a very well-hidden gem in
Thank
Texas
you.
City.
Thank
for
you
all
so
do.
much, absolutely. Thank you all so much for having me.
Next on the agenda is public hearing, Community Development Block Grant, CDBG 2026 Annual Action Plan. This is the second public hearing.
I was told to grab the microphone and speak into it directly. Okay. All right. Can everybody hear me okay? Raise your hand if you can't hear, or if during this presentation, public hearing, if you lose me or if I move away from the microphone. It was a comment last public hearing that some of the folks in the back couldn't really hear me, so I'm going to try. Just go ahead and get into it. I want to say good evening, Mayor and Commissioners, citizens, staff. The purpose of this public hearing is to present the 2026 Annual Action Plan draft for the upcoming program year and provide residents, stakeholders, and community organizations an opportunity to offer comments and recommendations before the plan is finalized and submitted to HUD. I'd like to provide a little bit of information, a little bit of background about the CDBG entitlement grant. The Community Development Block Grant program is a federal funded program administered by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD. As an entitlement community, the city receives an annual allocation directly from HUD to support activities that primarily benefit low and moderate income residents. The program is guided by 3 national objectives: benefiting low to moderate income persons, preventing or eliminating slum and blight, and meeting community urgent needs. All proposed activities within the annual action plan, all proposed activities within the annual action plan must support one or more of these objectives. The infographic before you is a summary of the process before the plan is implemented. We're currently on number 4, our citizen participation plan, which requires a 30-day comment period and 2 public hearings. I'll provide more information on slide 3. Our goal is to gather community feedback and incorporate the input into the development of the 2026 Annual Action Plan. This is not working. Thank you. This next slide captures the funding priorities for 2026 into 4 major categories and provides a summary of the proposed activities. The changes from the first public hearing are noted. So I wanted to just talk a little bit about the 4 core projects. The first, Integrated Community Services and Assistance Program. The funding decreased. We added several services, and we opened the location. Versus having specific locations, we made it more eligible for different locations throughout the city, to accommodate maybe some of the services. The expected outcomes remain the same, which include increased access to supportive services, enhance community stability, and create stronger coordination among local service providers. The second is administration and program delivery. We decreased funding, and the expected outcomes remain the same, which include effective program delivery, improved grant management, and increased fair housing, education, and outreach. The third program is the housing rehabilitation and repair, which remain the same, and expected outcomes include improved housing quality, correction of health and safety issues, preservation of affordable housing, and increased housing stability for eligible homeowners. The last activity is neighborhood and public facilities improvement. Funding increased, and expectations and outcomes remain the same. Expand broadband access, enhance public spaces, improve neighborhood connectivity, improve park and facility recreational opportunities. The proposed 2026 annual action plan is designed to create both immediate and long-term benefits for residents by preserving affordable housing, improving neighborhood infrastructure, expanding access to community services, supporting vulnerable populations, and promoting safe and healthy living environments. Tonight's hearing is an opportunity for the public to review and comment. Following the comment period, which began June 1st, 2026, and ends today, July 1st at 11:59 p.m. At this time, we welcome any comments, questions, recommendations from commission, and then members of the public.
Thank you. Any questions, commissioners?
Ms. Mata, thank you. That is informative. If I understand correctly, what this timeline is saying, the public hearing and comment period, it's public hearing and comments on grant applications, or what is it? What are you?
The plan itself, what I'm proposing.
On the plan itself?
Yes.
Okay. So then if we have members in the audience that maybe are new to this and unfamiliar with some of the terminology and the program, the process, how do they come and get involved? Do they just come and see you? Do they email you? What's the best way for someone to get plugged in?
They are more than welcome to visit our department. We're at the City Hall Annex. They can call, they can email directly, whatever works for them.
Many ways to win, it sounds like. Okay, and then one more question. In our previous commission meeting, you had shown some updates on finances and outcomes and stuff like that. In a private conversation you and I had, you had kind of educated me on those things. Thank you. Is there a update in the future where you could provide some more information on that? I know some of those things have personal information about constituents or customers. Can you kind of talk about some of those things?
I had any recommendations. I'm going through the mayor's office, and so I submitted some of those items, things we're working on, to the mayor's office. And so one of the requests or recommendations was a dashboard for active applications. That doesn't exist, so it's something I'd have to create, and haven't yet.
Man, it sounds like I wish IT was in the room. Wait, he is. He's right there. So is that something then that you're creating in Microsoft Excel, or like how are you, if you have this domain expertise, do you also do amazing Microsoft Excel analysis or Power
right
BI?
now, our software, I'm working with our software that houses most of our applications to kind of develop that for us. And so we have a meeting next week to see if it's like a public-facing dashboard that we can post online on our website that's updated as numbers change.
Okay, fantastic. Mayor, that was a very hot topic in my engagement with a whole lot of the public between February and Election Day was this particular, and I discussed that offline with Ms. Mata. Yeah.
That's good. And this is the second reading, so nothing has changed from the first reading whatsoever. It's just,
The only changes, which were on the second slide,
yeah, I think that was an
were the
amount.
funding amounts, and then we modified some of the language.
Right.
But the changes are either crossed out or in red.
Right, yeah, just the red margin, yeah,
Yes, sir.
just a few dollar amounts. Any other questions?
I have a question, Mayor. So with the changes, so is it saying that we would no longer have Navigation Day?
No, Navigation Day is primarily for homeless prevention,
Okay.
and so the name is Homeless Prevention, and the event is Navigation Day.
Okay.
Any other questions? Thank you so much, Ms. Bonds, I appreciate it. Thank you
Thank
for all
you.
you do. The next portion of the agenda is public comments. And in the public comments, we have several people.
Mayor, we gotta open it up for the public to comment.
Okay, okay, so this is the second reading, so we have to open it up for the public. Any comments from the public regarding the CDBG, Community Development Public Grant? Yeah.
Yes, good evening. My name is Henry Gomez. I live at 915 Mainland Drive, District 4. District 4 has been forgotten for at least about 5 years. The senior citizens, we have a group of people that go to senior citizens' houses, and you will be surprised. You wouldn't allow your mother, your grandmother to live in a house like that where you have to put plywood on the floors because the air is seeping through the floors, and we have to insulate them and double insulate them and put plywood to make sure the cold air don't get to those senior citizens. Even some of the walls, air is sleeping through the boards, and at night that cold air gets in there, and the windows are not insulated properly. We hope the grant department will find these senior citizens and educate them about the money, because the first thing they think you're going to take the money out of their pockets. And the thing is, you can educate them and let them know, and somebody can speak Spanish a little bit, at least, poquito, okay? But the thing is, I want to thank the mayor for allowing this to happen, and I think the money that the city, Tech City is getting, we need more. It's going to take 5 years of repairs, okay? But I thank the mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Gomez. Ms. White, up here.
Mayor, if Ms. White speaks on her behalf, should we also make her announcements as well?
No.
Okay.
This is just I would like to see more publications in the newspapers and other things so that people know about these activities and how to apply for them and what they do, instead of just, it's not criticism, instead of just once or twice a year and then there's just a little thing in the newspaper, and if you can't attend these things, then you don't know what you can apply for and how they work. That's it.
Thank you, Ms. White. Chris Walters. Yeah.
So I'm going to
piggyback off that a little bit. So can you bring up those dates again that the first legal notice was given for this? 2 dates in May? Okay. If anybody can find those dates, I'll give you $20 on the Daily News. On the website or on the app, I have not seen any legal notice of this, Galveston Daily News. If it was in the newspaper, I'm on a show of hands in here, how many people still pay for the newspaper? But it wasn't published anywhere. I did see where they posted it in 2025. They did a good job there on their Facebook page. But there hasn't been any public notices posted on their public page since February, so I don't know who's in control of that. But the legal notice that they're saying for May 17th and May 24th, I haven't found those. If anybody knows where those are, I'd like to see those. But I would say that until we figure out when this legal notice was done, I don't think this should push through after today until we figure out if these notices were actually put out to the public. And like Ms. White said, there should be more publication of this, even their own Facebook page that they have that's active. The last post was in February. And I put out a mass post on social media. Mind you, not everybody has social media, not everybody's on Facebook. If you have, or any Tech City groups, you've probably seen me, probably get tired of me posting things on social media. But I feel like, I don't know if this one's important to many people, and for some of the people that this grant is for, a lot of those people don't know about it. Maybe they do get the newspaper, maybe that's all they have, or maybe they don't have internet. We need to come up with a better deal to get the people that these grants are for, to get them here to be able to talk about it and understand how this thing works. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Christina Bergvall with District 1. I just had a few questions about the outcomes. So the outcomes, are there any listed that have targeted measures that are measurable and time-bound? So I know that it does speak to some broad and general goals as presented in these slides, but it would be nice to see what those percentages are. I'm sure that when you submit the reporting, whether it's annually or whatever the cycle is that's required to the federal government, that they are very often percentages, dates, times, things like that. So if you could speak to either now or later some of that information, I think that would be beneficial for the citizens to hear and see.
Thank you. As for the attachment that's on this agenda is the actual document, the draft that has the goals, the targets, and the timeline is that while the grant, we're able to use it for 8 years, the goal is to use it for, or have it exhausted by year 1. And so the annual action plan draft, it's on the document. There's also a second document that comes out in December for the CAPER, which is our annual reporting for this program year that we're currently in. So when it ends September 30th, we'll post it in December that it's available for everyone to view. And I also wanted to say that en la oficina todos hablamos español. So si necesitan ayuda en español, les podemos ayudar.
Qué fantástico.
Gracias. We speak Spanish in the office, so if anyone needs assistance in Spanish, please just let us know.
Can they repeat? Can they go back up?
What she said in Spanish?
No.
Any other comments in favor of or in opposition to this public hearing? Any comments, observations from anyone in the public? Thank you so much, Ms. Mata. We have quite a few requests to address the commission on the comment section.
You got to approve.
Well,
I'd like to make a motion that we close.
I've been trying to close this thing for a while. There's a motion to close the public hearing. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Is there any discussion?
catch.
All in favor say aye, all opposed same sign. No, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Now I can go to the next one. The next one is public hearings. We have a lot of people who wish to address the commission. And there is one that wants to address the commission on an item that isn't on the agenda. If this motion passes, that being addressed by everyone, then that rule starts at the next commission meeting to address the commission on items not on the agenda. So having said that, I'm taking these in order as they were received. Mr. Tim Culp wants to address the commission on item 9E.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Tim Culp. I'm the President and CEO of the Texas City La Marque Chamber of Commerce. And as most of you know, it's probably best that I have prepared statements to say because I can get a little long-winded at these microphones. So, on behalf of the Texas City La Marque Chamber of Commerce, I want to express our support to reinstate and preserving the opportunity for public comment on non-agenda items during commission meetings. The Chamber believes that open, accessible government is fundamental to the healthy community and a strong local economy. Allowing citizens to address their elected officials, even on issues that are not listed on the agendas, is an important part of transparent and accountable government. This right is one of the foundations of our democracy. Generations of Americans have fought, and many have sacrificed to protect the freedom of citizens to speak to their government. Public comment allows residents to raise concerns, share ideas, and bring attention to issues that may not have been anticipated when the agenda was prepared. While town halls and community forums are valuable, they cannot replace the opportunity to speak during an official commission meeting. Town halls are held periodically, but community issues often arise unexpectedly. Public comments during a commission meeting place those concerns directly before you, our elected officials, who are responsible for making decisions, and ensure those comments become part of the official public record. This is especially important to our business community. Timely input on regulations, permitting, infrastructure, and other local issues can help resolve concerns before they become obstacles to investment, economic growth, and job creation. The Chamber believes that the right to speak carries the responsibility to do so respectfully. Citizens should always conduct themselves with civility and professionalism, and no one should be allowed to personally attack or disrespect an elected official. Likewise, as elected officials, you have a responsibility to listen respectfully and thoughtfully consider the concerns of those you were elected to represent. That is why the Chamber also supports the use of Robert's Rules of Order as you use. These well-established parliamentary procedures provide a fair framework for maintaining decorum, protecting everyone's right to be heard, and ensuring meetings remain orderly and productive. They help balance meaningful public participation with the Commission's responsibility to conduct the public's business effectively and respectfully. Public participation and orderly meetings are not competing values. They are complementary ones. Together, they strengthen public trust, improve decision-making, and foster stable, business-friendly environment. By preserving public comment on non-agenda items while maintaining decorum through Robert's Rules of Orders, we strengthen citizen engagement, support effective government, and help build a stronger, more resilient Texas City. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hear, hear.
The next person who signed up to speak to address the commission is Barbara Ozon-White, who wishes also to speak on 9E.
I'm shorter than Tim. I would be remiss in my duties if I didn't come out and speak in favor of this ordinance. I know y'all get tired of reading my announcements every time we meet, but I feel that they are important. and I want to be heard. And I think it is only fair to be able to come and talk about the things going on in the city and in our school district, and especially the business community and my friends. So I'm very much in favor of bringing this back. That way I can heap praise when they stripe the streets and all that other good stuff. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. White. Next to speak is Mr. Jose Boytz. Also wishing to speak on agenda item 9E.
Thank you, Mayor Abel and commissioners, for letting me share my comments on the regular item 9E of the agenda. While I'm supportive of the approval of Ordinance 2026-20, I would like to share some related facts regarding the path of the public comment process that I hope would help to approve that ordinance today. I went back and researched for any ordinance related to public comments. I could not find any all the way from September 2024 to January 22nd, 2025. There were no ordinance related to public comments. All these agenda items had no limitation for comments. That all surprisingly changed January 22nd, 2025, at a commission meeting agenda, began to restrict the public comment on the items of the agenda only. That one actually came with a revised request to address the commission that, interesting, was dated on that day. Interesting. To my knowledge, these surprising changes were made without any passage of a related ordinance or commission review and approval. So then fast forward to August 20, 2025, at the City Commission meeting, you had an agenda item 8, that considered to take action on the third and final reading of Ordinance 2025, and that actually set up, again, limits to speak. Now, consider these three facts. The city charter says that the commission shall provide all the citizens of the city reasonable opportunity to be heard on any such items in regard to any matter considered. Now, there is a comma, and it's thereafter. Okay, very important, because on Monday, February the 10th of 2025 at 1:30, I met with former Mayor Dedrick and John Branson, Executive Director of Management Service. At that meeting, we discussed, I was concerned about this change, that it was a surprise. And what I was told is that the word thereafter allowed the mayor to make his action legal and appropriate, which is inconceivable to me. Then I did a third search of all the ordinances approved by the commission, and very few had 3 readings. Almost the vast majority was nothing related to any kind of readings, including this one here. So this one here has to be approved today, because there's nothing that says first, second, or third reading. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Boyce. Next to speak is Ms. Riva Ornelas Rodriguez. She also wishes to speak on item 9E.
So I'm going to be short because I don't like time. So good evening, Mayor Garza and members of the City Council. First, I would like to say thank God. God is faithful, and I'm grateful that our prayers have been answered with a new mayor, hallelujah, and newly elected officials. Congratulations to each of you, and thank you for your willingness to serve our community. My name is Riva Ornelas Rodriguez. I'm married to Juan David Rodriguez, and we are longtime residents of Texas City. I was born and raised here my entire life, and I'm proud to say that Texas City is my home. My husband and I are also local business owners. We own the Stop and Dress resale shop located at 703 Texas Avenue, and we are deeply invested in the success and the future of our city. I would like to share my thoughts on the importance of public comments. Public comments matter. Okay, because they give citizens a voice, they improve government decisions, they promote transparency and accountability. These principles are essential to effective local government. I encourage this council to continue listening to residents and ensuring every voice has the opportunity to be heard. In my daily interactions with residents, which is customers, homeowners, I do sales and roofs as well, I often hear concerns that reflect this need for open communication. For example, some customers have shared frustration that issues such as like potholes that are damaging their vehicles, they're not always easy to bring before the council. In another instance, I recently spoke with the visitors from out of the country. This was last week. I go every single morning to the Skyline. They're walking to the Skyline area by the lighthouse. While there, I noticed the condition of the lighthouse itself, including cobwebs, peeling paint. I mean, it's horrible over there. And I felt a sense of embarrassment. There was 8 or 9 people from out of the country. They were just, tourists. And it needs to be better maintained for those visiting our city. These experiences highlight the importance of not only listening to residents, but also being responsive to the everyday conditions that shape how our city is experienced by both citizens and guests. Thank you for your time, your service, and your continued commitment to the people of Texas City. So I did take some pictures. Of course, I don't have it on here, but this is where these people, they're from, I guess, I don't know, Asia, they're Oriental, and how embarrassing it was. Like stuff like this, we should be able to just come up here and say, hey, can somebody go maintenance? I mean, it's horrible over there. I was so embarrassed. And I know it's been like that for a long time. I go faithfully, even on Sunday mornings, and I go jog, and I was just so embarrassed. I mean, it's just stuff like this. We should be able to say, hey, we shouldn't have to have it approved, you know what I mean? So anyhow, I was gonna be kind and nice, and thank y'all for listening.
Thank you, Ms. Rodriguez. Next to speak on item 9E is former Mayor Didrik Johnson.
Good evening, Mayor Garza and commissioners. I come before you all to stand and just bring a little historical insight to today's proposed ordinance that will reverse the previous administration's ordinance on allowing public comment on items that are not on the agenda. The Texas Open Meetings Act, which is a government statute, specifically speaks to the mandate to allow the public to speak on items that are on the agenda. Anything that goes beyond that is something that can be allowed by each different administration. This administration chooses to open up public comment, but I want to give you some historical significance as to why we did the opposite last administration. We had a few disruptions in our meetings. It wasn't conducive to conducting the city business, and we collectively decided to move in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act. Not only the Texas Open Meetings Act, but the city charter of the city of Texas City, as Mr. Jose Boix tried to express, states that the commission can speak on matters that will be on the agenda and considered thereof. Considered thereof means things that are going to be voted upon. So everybody in the public has an opportunity to speak on anything on the agenda. It is very concerning that people want to be able to speak on things that are not on the agenda because they disguise it as taking the citizen's voice. It is not taking the citizen's voice. The citizen can approach anybody on this commission at any given time. That's why they ran for office, so that they can be made accessible to everybody in the public, even outside of city commission meetings. So you can call them, you can email them, and you can visit them in their office. But what I want to really correct is Commissioner Sharp's social media post that said Mayor Johnson unilaterally made this decision. That was totally false. There was nothing unilaterally ever done in Mayor Johnson's administration. I consulted with some of the people that matter the most, and that's the staff. These staff members have to be here at 8 o'clock in the morning. And when you open up public comment to any agenda item, sometimes you have meetings that can last 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. Like our neighboring city, who constantly bickers and curses and fights at their meetings all the time. Texas City's better than that. Texas City's always been better than that. But in essence of trying to provide a solution, Commissioner Gutcher says we need to remove the old ordinance and replace it with an ordinance that allows people to use profanity. Profanity at this podium.
No, it's not.
And
Hey,
so-
order.
Yeah, we'll have to give him more time. You get
Okay.
more time.
So basically what I wanted to say is, how much time do I have? Okay. Basically what I wanted to say before I was rudely interrupted, which will continue to happen if you pass an ordinance like this, people will continue to get up here and continue to make a mockery and lose the decorum that these business meetings are supposed to have. Thank you.
Let's be respectful. The next item, who wants to address, Mayor Johnson wants to talk about 9H.
D of H, considered.
Thank you, Mayor Garza. The next item on the agenda to be discussed is 9H. Consider and take action on ordinance amending the City of Texas City's fiscal year budget for multiple departments, multiple accounts. This is something that is a standard process in city government. You usually have to make some amendments. There are lots of projects going on in the city. Oftentimes you have change orders that will require you to make an adjustment to the budget. And I understand that this commission will be considering making these changes. I only wanted to come and speak again on Commissioner Chris Sharp's disinformation that continues to go out to the public. He put in a social media post that there were 160 budget amendments made and 40 of them were made without the commission's consent. That is false. The city never made 40 budget amendments without the commission's consent. There's a difference between a budget amendment and a budget transfer. And when you make a budget transfer, that does not have to come before the commission. The CEO and the CFO together can move funds from one GL general account to another. But I am glad that we are trying to address these issues with so much turnover that we've had in our finance department. Before I take my seat, I would ask the commission to tell the public or instruct the acting finance director to tell the public how we can move forward in the future operating our budget without the number of budget adjustments and budget transfers that we have. What is the plan moving forward? So that's all I have on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Johnson. That concludes the public comments. Next on the agenda. Yeah, we don't have any amendment to address, any item on the agenda to address your issue. 9E? Okay, come on up, Mr. Lowry. Talk about 9E, which is the ability to speak on items not on the agenda.
Please excuse my attire, it was kind of a last-minute deal. I want to congratulate all of you. A little intimidating speaking in front of so many professional people. What a change. Thank you for this.
Can you give us your name just for the record?
Joseph Lowry. Thank you for this. First Amendment. Some people died for this, okay? My father's one of them, Vietnam veteran, Agent Orange got him. So the rights being violated by Texas City, by the former regime, highly inappropriate. And the comment that I just heard, the most important people are the employees, that's incorrect. The most important people are the taxpayers, not the employees. I'm not going to speak to the other thing that I wrote down, the unlawful entry of my property, but hopefully next agenda I can come back and speak on that, as well as the investigations that happened with Jennifer Laird, Derek Miller, and whatnot. But when it comes to public comment, nobody wants to see the chaos like in Lamarck. However, it is the constitutional right for the public to address their government. Only a dictator and a communist would want to suppress free speech. And that's what happened. The former regime used social media to block constituents from speaking. Anybody that they didn't agree with, They suppressed them. Every single person that was blocked on social media, it's a violation of their constitutional right. They have a right to sue the city of Texas City. Every single one of them. And the list is growing. And that smirk on your face, Mrs. Laird, you got a lawsuit coming. That's it.
That concludes the public comment section. Next on the agenda is
Excuse me, Mayor.
consent.
Excuse me. I'd like to make a point of information. The gentleman's comments regarding former Mayor Dedrick Johnson, his statement was that some of the important people, he did not say that city staff were the only important people, and then also some of those staff members are taxpayers for the city of Texas City as well. So I just want to make a point of information about that.
On the consent agenda item, you have before you items A through D. If you wish to withdraw or withhold any further discussion, please feel free to let me know or let us know. If not, what is your pleasure, commissioners?
Mayor, I'd like to pull item C on the consent agenda.
C, okay. Item C is being pulled. Is that the only one? Commissioners, do we have a motion to approve items A through A, B, and D?
I make a motion we approve items A, B, and D.
There's a motion by Commissioner Johnson. Is there a second?
Second.
Just a point of information, Mayor. We're on the consent agenda items, right? Not regular items?
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we have a motion and a second to approve consent agenda items A, B, and D, and there's a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Consent agenda items A, B, and D have been approved. Item C has to do with consider and take action on resolution number 2026-073, authorize designated signatures for contractual documents and documents requesting funds pertaining to the Community Development Block Grant Mitigation CBDG MIT Resilient Communities Program through the General Land Office, GLO, State Contract Number 22-130-075-E800, Community Development. Ms. Mata?
This item before you is to update the signatories with the change.
Okay.
No, nothing? No? How about now? Better? Sorry. This item before you is to update the signatories with the new election and some of the staff that are no longer with the city. We've updated those names.
It's the same thing we had at the last meeting?
Just for a different grant.
Just changing
Yes.
signature authorizations?
Update.
Okay.
What grant will this be for?
This is for the hazard mitigation plan. Planning, it is to assist the city to have a hazard mitigation plan adopted. Mr. Joel Tumbleson can speak more about the plan.
Thanks, Patricia. Mayor, Commissioners, the hazard mitigation plan is something we do periodically to stay in compliance with some of the rules that we need to have a hazard mitigation in place and approved by the commission in order to receive some type of mitigation grant funds. So that was something we accomplished last year. Off the top of my head, I can't remember, I think it's 5 years. Every 5 years, we have to renew that plan. So we were able to go out and get a grant from the GLO for $100,000 to hire some consultants and help us with it. We had public comment periods. We came up with a final plan, and it was approved by the mayor and the commission. And now we're in the process of getting reimbursed through the GLO for that grant. And it requires signatures of the current administration.
Joe, what's the,
Yes, sir.
Joe, what is the effect of not approving the signatories? What's the impact of that?
The way I understand it, Commissioner, is we just will not be able to submit the paperwork in order to get reimbursed for that. That grant was a reimbursement grant, so we spent the $100,000 up front, and then they reimburse us as we provide those documents with the signatures.
Yeah, okay. I just want to comment, Mayor, compliments to Ms. Mata I had some similar concerns about approving signatories because there was a lot of concern out in the community about grants in general, not about signatories. Ms. Mata was kind enough to call me on her day off. She had, I think, an event going with your daughter, cheerleading camp or something to that effect. Thank you. I tried to keep my comments short, given that life happens. So compliments to her. She addressed my concerns, and what she also helped me understand was that the concerns of the community, those that I discussed, are addressed through a different avenue because the effect of not approving signatories, at least in that case, is we're not paying vendors. Is that right? And in this case, if we don't approve signatories, we're not getting reimbursed money.
Oh, go ahead.
Two different grants. This grant mitigation, the mitigation grant for the hazard mitigation plan is reimbursable. The other GLO mitigation, E175, D253, D373, Jack would be proud of me. Those are advanced, so it's an advance payment from the Texas Comptroller so that we can pay the vendors. This one, we already paid the consultants, and it's just to reimburse the city.
Fantastic. So I had a lot of comments from members of the public after the last meeting. Jason, what's going on? There's a different avenue to address those things. You're working on those things. That was what we talked about earlier, dashboards and other things. But on the signatories, in this case, people want to give us our money. Yeah.
Any other questions for Ms. Mata from the commission?
So since we have a new administration, we can expect to see this pretty often, some signatories?
As city staff changes, so the CFO or the director position, the mayor, yes, you will expect to see updated signatories.
Thank you, Ms. Mata.
Thank you.
Any other comments, questions? What's your pleasure, Commission, on item C?
I'll make a motion to approve item C on the consent agenda.
And I second. Sharp seconds.
Motion made by
Sharp second?
Sharp.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Commissioner Noxon and seconded by Commissioner Sharp. Thank you. Next item is regular items on the agenda.
We got to vote on it. You got to vote.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. You know we didn't have any discussion, but that's okay. We had enough. Item 9A, consider to take action on ordinance number 2026-18, amending the City of Texas City's 25-26 budget to allocate additional fundings needed for the Moses Lake Stormwater Pump Station project. Ms. Boyd?
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. The proposed project, the Moses Lake Pump Station, is quite a sizable project that's been many years in the making, and consequently, since it's been many years, the construction costs have only gone up, resulting in the need for an additional $5.1 million to fully fund the project. The CDBG mitigation grant is administered by the Texas General Land Office, but they will not fully fund the project. So the $5.1 million will come from the general fund unassigned fund balance. And this goes hand in hand with the next item on the agenda. That's why Jack is here to answer any questions about the project.
Commissioner, what happened in this case was in 2018, when this was first brought up, a little under $8 million was set aside for this project. Since then, it took the Corps of Engineers 5-6 years for the permitting process. And since the permitting process has been approved, now the rates have gone up to 12, 13, how much, 12 million?
12.2 million?
What is it?
12.2 million for
12.2
construction.
million. So as a result, we need an additional 5.1 million to complete this very, very important project. You want to add anything, Mr. Harrelson?
Well, if you like, Mayor, I can kind of just explain what we're doing so I can take care of item B, at least the explanation of it. Would that be all right?
Yeah, but we're only going to vote on item A.
Yes, sir. This, like you said, in fact, we came up with our budgets back in 2017. I want to really let you guys know is our engineers do a great job of budgeting. This is part of 2 different grants that we had gotten at this same time, 4 projects each, so a total of 8 projects. Every project came in at budget or under budget. This one, we had some price escalations that we were not anticipating. In fact, we had a separate bid for just the pumps, a purchase of the pumps and motors. That came in at close to $3 million. So all told, this has gone from what was originally around an $8 million project to close to $15 million. It actually doubled in price. The pipe that goes over the levee, that in itself is that's over $1 million just in material for that alone. So we've had some serious price escalations that caused this issue. So we've got what we think are competitive, and we got a good bid. We got a contractor that we're comfortable with. We're ready to pull the trigger on it. The pumps have been ordered, and so this is the last little step. And we did whatever we could to try to cut some costs on this. Yes, sir.
Mayor, may I ask some questions? First, compliments to Ms. Boyd. Mayor Garza, you have some fantastic staff. I think Ms. Boyd was trying to take some personal time on Friday. She was kind enough to delay that, to address some questions, concerns that some of us had. What I understood about this, Mr. Harrelson, was cost increases over 9 years. That makes all the sense in the world after COVID, inflation, what have you. But were there also any scope changes? Maybe I misheard that, or maybe I imputed that.
There were some scope changes, and that's a good point. We couldn't get the Corps of Engineers won't review a set of documents until you have an engineered set of documents.
Yeah.
So you design what you think is going to be allowable, and then we've actually went through a couple different changes. One, which would have reduced our cost, we were told to do. We submitted it, and hey, we got a new staff in there. No, that's not acceptable. So this is kind of where that went, is that we really didn't know exactly what the Corps was going to require of us until we got way into the design process of the project, which did create some scope changes.
Without going too deep into engineering land, Jack, could you give us a couple bullet points on what some of those scope changes were, like materials, or do we need whole new things?
It was, one of the things that we were trying to do, that we had been instructed that we were allowed to do, is kind of chop off and put concrete pipe over the top of the levee, just so that we didn't have to hump the road up. That's what has saved us not only time, but also a lot of material and constructability of the space as a whole. It would have been a lot easier. We had to then replace that with steel piping. That's seamless steel piping that goes over the levee, which is better. There's no way that we can have a leak in a seamless pipe that could cause a failure in the levee. So I applaud the Corps for doing that. Also, we had to try to come up with some different ways of helping our citizens who live out on the end of the levee. And not only that, helping with the county who operates the floodgate. So coming up with some different ways to keep the access to those areas always available, which created some more money.
This started such a long time ago, 2017. Can you just give a brief purpose of why we're doing this?
Yes, sir. I'd love to.
Brief.
Right now. Right now we have the genesis of this was two times. At first we didn't have our pump stations in town. We pump 1 million gallons a minute. But there are people in our city that live either outside of our internal levee, or they live in areas that drain directly into Moses Lake. So for those citizens who drain directly into Moses Lake, and that is a lot of our new construction, our new citizens, as well as some of our older citizens, the west side of Texas City and the far north, they're outside of our internal levee. So they shut the floodgate, and we're filling the lake up, and they have nowhere to drain. And so that was, hey, we got to come up with a way. Let's find a way to help those citizens who don't get the benefit of these pump stations that everybody else does. Let's help them out. That was the first thing. Then, of course, Hurricane Harvey hit, and it's like, oh, we got to do something. Because all we can do is prepare. I can't make it slow down raining, and I can't stop it from raining. So all we do is prepare, and that is all we can do. And so we can't drain the lake. I would be in prison if all the fish that would, and not only that, everybody who lives on the lake wouldn't be too happy with me either. So this is, if you notice in the paperwork, we're not pumping out as much as we're pumping in. That's not the intent. The intent is we've got a big storm coming in, a large rain event, the county's going to shut the gate. Over 3 to 4 days, we can lower Moses Lake by a foot. That's a huge deal. I mean, we can suck out about 200 million gallons of water out of the lake a day. It's not enough to cause any environmental issues, but it is enough to give us more time to let the storm pass. It just buys us time, is all it does. And for those people, especially like in Grand Cay, they're right on the lake. This is the only thing that would benefit them. So that's what this is doing. It's to give us more room. It is creating a retention pond the size of Moses Lake is what this allows us to have, without the cost or land area of that.
Thank you, Mr. Harrison. Any other questions regarding this matter?
I just want to put a bookend on it. This is a marvelous thing for those and members of the public who maybe your eyes glaze over on what this is. I'll make it simple. This is fantastic. The whole Texas Gulf Coast, this is the place to live. And any members that are visiting from the business community, please bring your business here, because these kinds of innovations are just fantastic. Thank you, Jack.
Thank you, Commissioner. And this is 3 administrations in the making.
Yeah. Bravo. So, yeah, Commissioner Delgado. Thank you. With those nice comments, is that like a motion that I heard you make?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Delgado, motion. Commissioner Johnson, second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Motion carries. It was unanimous. Don't leave yet. Item B should probably go a little quicker now that you've already done your part. Consider and take action on resolution number 2026-075, approval to enter into a contract with Carlson McLean Construction Company, LLC, in the amount of $12,204,652, and we have to have 80 cents, for the construction of the Moses Lake Stormwater Pump Station project. Mr. Harrelson?
Yes, sir. This is for the project, just what we described. This is with Carlson McLean as the contractor. We had 5 bids, and we're doing work with these guys right now. They've done a couple jobs. They've got one already kind of on the books with us, so we really enjoy working with them. We know they're going to do us a good job.
Any questions for Mr. Harrelson on item B? None. What's your pleasure, Commissioners?
I make a motion to approve.
A second.
Motion by Commissioner Delgado, second by Commissioner Noxon. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you so much, Jack. You gonna hang around for a while?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Item C, consider and take action on ordinance number 2026-X19, amending the Texas City Local Plumbing Code to reflect changes required by TCEQ and state law.
Okay, Mayor, I'm going to have to apologize to you guys right off the bat. This was on last meeting's agenda. It's kind of the same thing, but TCEQ is requiring a specific wording, and one of those words was ordinance, not a resolution. They want an ordinance. So this is the same thing that we talked about last time. It's really we just want to do what they say, but we're already covered from a safety standpoint. This is a lead pipe safety rule that they want us to put in. We already do that. Our inspections department does a great job. In fact, we do the latest and greatest plumbing code. As soon as the one comes out, it's per our city ordinance, it's automatically put into place. So, but this is what TCEQ asked for. We want to give it to them and move on down the road.
I don't believe we can go against TCEQ or the state law. So this is just a process that we have to do.
Yes, sir.
Any questions for?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
And I know it's going to sound funny, but why can't, what is the problem with wet plumbing, the wet sewer line or whatever, the P-traps?
This is the lead pipe is what it was.
Oh, well, it
it's
said
the
that
lead.
it's well, I looked up the code and it's not allowing any more of the wet sewer lines where you attach them all to the bathtub.
I'm going to have to call back up in,
Okay.
Commissioner,
All right.
for this one. Let me make
But
sure.
It's no big deal. It's no big deal. I just
No,
wondered why
he's going to know the answer. So.
why they don't allow that anymore.
We'll give Jack a
It
break.
was easier. It's cheaper.
Right. Part of this is what we're asking to do is.
Get closer to the microphone, please.
Oh, I know.
Very specific wording. That's what it is. The other part of it, I'm not 100% familiar with exactly what you're talking about.
Okay.
I know there's some wet traps that
Yeah.
they've outlawed.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Okay.
But that's
They did.
That's what it is.
And that's what it is. Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions regarding item C? Their motion to approve or deny?
Make a motion to approve.
There's a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner at Large Brian Getches, yeah. Second by Commissioner at Large Wade Johnson. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you so much. You still don't want to sit down, do you? Consider and take action on resolution number 2026-076, authorizing the City of Tech City to enter into an amended contract with Gulf Coast Water Authority for the continued purchase of water. So first we pump it out, now we're going to pump it in.
Yes, sir. Mayor, this is our existing contract with Gulf Coast Water. Gulf Coast Water Authority is who we get our potable water from, our drinking water. Our existing contract expires in December 2027. The new contract would take us to December 2062. So we've had a lot of meetings, and I think we've done our due diligence to make sure that this is a good contract for the citizens of Texas City. There's two contracts that are on that, Mayor. The supplemental contract and the base contract. The base contract is for our 11.5 million gallons a day for our treated water, and then the supplemental contract is we purchased some years back an additional 8 million gallons a day of raw water. So and we have the option to turn that into treated water in the future if we so choose to. This is our city leaders have always done a great job of making sure that we're covered for any growth that we have, and if you close to 20 million gallons a day will take care of our citizens for the foreseeable growth is what we're looking at. So anyway, we met with Gulf Coast many times. Like I said, we've got 19 municipalities. We're one of 19 municipalities that are served by Gulf Coast. They all have the same contract, and we recommend that the mayor has the approval to execute it.
Where does the city stand with regard to cost compared to other clients?
We're about the lowest. We're at $3.19 per 1,000 gallons. That's some of the, if you ask the Gulf Coast personnel, we're stealing water from them. It's so cheap. But we do have a very good rate, which allows us to keep the rates low to our citizens.
I think the lowest one is a city called Miami, and they have about 500, and I think they get water from a water hose.
From the neighboring city, probably.
People who don't understand the water situation, a lot of industry in Texas City, and people think, well, that's the biggest commodity we have is oil and gas. Not true. Water is a commodity, and people are searching for it, and it's very limited. We have 11 million available per day, and that may accommodate the new developments that we have coming in. Well, it will accommodate the new developments, correct?
Yes, sir.
And we're looking at maybe 5,000 houses in the next couple of 3 or 4 or 5 years. I was involved in the meetings with Mr. Harrelson and Mr. Branson and Mr. Corbin Ballast, and I was impressed that we're the last one to sign up. All the other people have signed up, and we're the last ones. And if we don't sign it soon, they will find another customer. And where we will get our water if we don't sign up, I have no clue. So, any
Yes, sir.
questions for Mr. Harrelson?
I have some questions, Mayor. I'm sold on the urgency, the need, the price, all of that, fantastic. I have some questions of a different sort, though. This is our potable water, right? This is our drinking water, ultimately. And we all may recall there was not an insignificant problem in Flint, Michigan with the public water supply. You know what I'm talking about, Jack?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just in brief, like there were contaminants in the water, and I'm sure there was no malice on anyone's part on that, right? Nobody wants to have lead in the drinking water, but terrible things happen. And that kind of got my gears going. And then also I think locally around us, not related to drinking water, but I think a certain other Galveston County community is currently in litigation with a contractor over the quality of some other construction. And so just looking at these items together, my question is, who is advising us on things like limitations of liability on these contracts? Is it the city attorney primarily, Jack, or how do we use outside counsel?
I think it's a little of both. The attorney has looked at it, but it's also, we have had an ex-city engineer, James McWhorter. He was on the initial phase. In fact, James used to be a board member with Gulf Coast. And so James helped us reviewing the contract. When it first came out, I believe it was in 2022, when their board first approved this new contract and to send out for everybody to sign. And James did a lot of review on that. So we've been doing it's been going and been kicked around quite a bit. Our past city manager did a lot of review for it. So there's been a lot of eyes on this. One thing with Gulf Coast is they're not changing it. And they said, hey, you don't have to buy water from us.
I think we want that water, and for avoidance of doubt, I'm for drinking water, but I am just concerned about, just when, in reading contracts, limitations of liability has language that'll put you to sleep until it really matters. And
Right.
then suddenly there's lead in public drinking water, and everybody runs for the exit, and fingers get pointed, like it becomes a really serious thing. So I don't want to belabor this, but Mayor, I do just want to connect the dots here that I've asked that in a future commission meeting, we look at our city attorney performance. I think that may be something that we have to discuss in executive session, but just our overall performance on these kinds of things is something that I think needs attention.
Yeah, and I want to add to what Mr. Harrelson said. I was advised to get an airplane ticket, first class, send it to James McWhorter in South Carolina, and get him here quick. He is an expert in this area, and
Fantastic.
when we heard that he had already reviewed the contract and he had no concerns about it, that was good enough for me.
Thank you, Mayor.
Is there any other questions for Mr. Harrelson?
Yes, sir. Jack, thank you. Wasn't there a survey that was being taken place?
Yes, sir.
How did that turn out?
We don't have the final. It's a wage. Well, not a wage. I'm sorry. A survey for how our rates are compared that we give to our citizens. We're still trying to button that up, Commissioner. That has not been completed. It's not as simple as what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was, hey, how much money do we have coming in and how much money are we spending going out? And if they're the same, then we're good. It's not that simple. It was, Mayor, when we went through that, all that information at Gulf Coast yesterday, it's the same amount with our survey as far as our what we're charging, our price survey.
Okay.
So that should be forthcoming, and I should be able to give you an update on that tomorrow. I'll give that to Mayor, and he can send that out.
Yeah,
But we are in the middle of it.
I was just curious if that survey played a part in us getting that $3 rate or not.
No, sir. No, sir. That was something that was already, they didn't even know that we were doing our own, our price survey, our rate study. That's what it's called. I apologize. But we're in that's just to make sure that we're doing what we need to do to make sure that we don't have any issues with the lead and things like that, to keep our water rates where they should be, affordable for our citizens, but enough money coming in so that our utility department can take care of our services.
And how long was our previous contract?
It was for 30 years.
30 years, and this one goes to
2062, so 36 years.
Have there been any testing for PFAS in our water?
I don't know all the exact tests. I know that we test, and one of the things I want everybody to be aware of is Gulf Coast, they test it when they send it out to our water plants, and then we test it routinely again, and we take tests daily.
The PFAS test, we have not performed any of them right now. Gulf Coast has performed some, but their opinion, and which I agree with, is we don't want to do any testing that is not required on something like that. This is something that, and I talked with them at length yesterday about it, and their thought was, we do not have an issue with this. They've done some preliminary testing and have seen nothing on it.
So you say they have done some testing?
They have done some.
Some testing, and they
Right.
see no issues?
No issues.
Okay.
Commissioner Noxon, could you just expound a little bit more on that, on PFAS and the significance of all of that? Like, what is the significance of that?
Well, PFAS essentially is plastics showing up in water. So I had came across some research about plastic showing up in water. We're here in an industrial town. So I was just curious about how the testing is done related to PFAS, if the cities does it or does the Water Authority, if they test for that. I understand Mr. Ballard said it's not a required thing, but I think that if there's an option for us to look into that to see what our levels may be, that's something that we could possibly consider if there are any options for that.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to add, I think I saw my wife in the audience. She's on me about microplastics and plastics and everything. And so I just wanted to acknowledge she told me so.
Yeah, Commissioner Noxon really did some good research, and he found there's some grant monies available possibly to do the testing.
Been in contact with the mayor, mentioned to him that there's an environmental company that is doing studies on PFAS in water. They come out, they test absolutely no cost to the city, and if there are any levels of PFAS found, there is a possibility of funding allocated for whatever level there is for cleanup and things of that nature there. So there have been some companies that set aside billions of dollars, such as DuPont and 3M, and if there are levels of PFAS found, potentially the city can be awarded some funds to help clean up that contamination.
Just something to consider. I think Mr. Ballas has that information.
And where would that be tested from? Would it be tested from the plant, or would it be tested from the individual lines? Like y'all, I know y'all have different areas through the city that you test. Where would that be tested from?
I will have to follow up with the. Jay.
Yeah, we'll have to get with, because that's not a test we currently do. I don't know what the recommendation is of where's the best place for it. I mean, it would make more sense to have it done when it's in the open.
Mm-hmm.
So from the plant, as soon as it gets piped, I don't know.
This is a source water contaminant. This would be something that comes from the river
Oh,
or
okay.
possibly the ground. So the testing place would be at the Gulf Coast Water Authority's effluent.
Any other questions regarding item D, amending the contract with Gulf Coast Wastewater for the next 36 years?
What are we concluding on that? Is that something that we want to pursue, or are we saying, I thought I heard we were recommended not to do that, but just Jack, if you kind of sum it all up, what are we concluding on plastics in the water, or possibilities thereof, or not possibilities?
Well, right now, it's not a TCEQ requirement, and so I will definitely research this, and we can report back to the mayor. He can give that's something that I'm interested in, but that's not something that we currently do. But I will definitely give this we'll get some thought, get some information in front of the mayor so he can spread that around.
Yeah.
Thank you, Commissioner Knoxon.
Yeah, and currently, we need water, and we need to sign the contract.
Yes, sir.
Without a doubt, let there be water. But just ideally, we have assurance there's no lead in it or plastics or anything else that's not good for us. Thank you, Jack.
I make a motion to approve.
I second.
Commissioner Knoxon made the motion to approve, second by Commissioner Sharp. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? There was no discussion because there was no opposition.
Thank you.
Item E, consider and take action on ordinance number 2026-20, amending ordinance number 2025-14, commission rules. Is that the one we're on? Procedure?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, that's the one we're on. Regarding commission rules of procedure, order of business, section 7, public comments, items submitted by Commissioner at Large Brian Getchus and Commissioner District 3 Chris Sharp.
Well, I'm for it, 100%. Let's get it done. Hell, I hope it's tonight, and I hope it's unanimous. And I believe from the bottom of my heart, we need to hear from each one of you at that podium for 3 short minutes. So I just say let's get it done. I hope we approve it right now and we be done with it.
Mayor, can I just elbow in? Can I be the one to make a motion to approve this?
Okay, we have.
Or do we all? I think we all approve.
Well, we need,
I think I have a comment to make before we make a motion, if that's acceptable.
Please do.
Okay. Something I did read in the attachments that I would like Commissioner Getchus to kind of expand on was the use of profanity during the 3 minutes. I completely understand and I support residents having a voice here in this setting, at this platform, but I think a level of decorum does matter. Residents, like I said, they have the opportunity.
they can't hear you speak.
Are we having a hard time hearing me?
There.
All right. So I believe that residents do have the right and should have the opportunity to speak in these meetings. However, I believe that there also are residents who have the right to a meeting that is orderly as well. And we do have staff members who have been here since 8 o'clock who have lives at home as well. So out of respect for both of them, I believe that we should have a level of decorum at the podium. So as I read through the attachment, it does, as former Mayor Dedrick Johnson mentioned, have profanity in there. And I wanted to see if you can speak to why you feel that is appropriate, that we need profanity for 3 minutes of residents' expressions.
Yeah, I want to add to that as well. We definitely need some kind of respect when making 3-minute comments. We need some civility. We need some kind of, I don't know if that's in the proposal that was submitted.
Hold on, I'm with DeAndre, Commissioner Knoxon, on the profanity part. I think that if you come up and say that you don't care for the way I'm doing something or don't like the way I'm doing something, perfectly fine. But there is a way to do that in a professional and nice manner. You know, we're going to take those hard comments. And that's what we got hired to do, is to take those comments of what you'd like to see us change. But at the same time, I agree that we need to keep it on a professional level.
I am 100% for decorum. What you read what I wrote was established by the courts. It wasn't my idea. I don't like that. I like decorum. Decorum is something our mayor will set. If they're out of line, he can say we have a decorum. But as we all found out sitting right in here, when you arrest somebody for that, for their right, it doesn't turn out right. There's something wrong with that position. They get 3 minutes up here. I don't like it. I don't like profanity. I don't like the downgrading. But it's what the court said. And if we want to set that, that's fine with me. Let's do it, and let's set the example for the state, and we'll make national news again. But those weren't my rules. They were the rules set by the court. So if you want to look it up, I would be happy to look it up with you and show you the research that I did to put those particular rights or decorum in there.
Well, with respect, Commissioner Getchis, Mayor Johnson just mentioned what the law stated by the Texas Open Meeting Act, and it was not to take away anybody's voice, but it was to speak on agenda action items. And for the longest, up until now, this moment, you've essentially been against that. So it sounds kind of hypocritical to say what the court says or the law says, and you've been against that version of it. Because the law stated you did not have to type it to put it in to suggest that profanity be allowed. So my question to you is, because the law states it, do we have to have profanity? Do we have to propose the use of profanity in the 3 minute session?
We could set any rule of decorum we want, but it will be challenged, and we can take the consequences from there. But to avoid that, I think most people will come up here if it's a non-controversial, or if they want to bash us, they can.
We can't guarantee that. We can't guarantee that someone is not going to come up here and drop an F-bomb to
Mayor, may we call
anyone.
the question?
Yeah, we can call the question. I do want to ask a procedure question for Mr. Branson. As a presiding officer of the Robert's Rules of Order, sitting on this, can I determine what's not, or defamation, or not respectful? If that's the case, we may not need this, but if it is the case, we need to assert it. Because I think the Open Meetings Act says you can't defame.
Mr. Mayor, I would say that I concur with what Mr. Getchis said. It's really what your policy and procedures state. But as the mayor, you preside over the meetings, and if you believe that it's out of order, you can warn them again, and then they can be escorted out if you so deem appropriate.
And I'm not proposing that someone comes up and cuss and does that. I detest that. But it is allowable, and if that happens, he sets the tone and escorts them out.
And Mr. Mayor, I think what we're voting on here is one item, and that is to allow public comment. And that's really all we're talking about at this time.
Let's keep it simple, in other words. I agree.
Can I make a motion to approve?
Any other comments regarding this matter? No other comments? Let's open it up for the motion.
What were you going to say?
Well, I just wanted to make it abundantly clear that, so what Commissioner Getchis submitted, number one, he submitted a resolution which was incorrect, and so that entire attachment was deemed inaccurate, and so we went based off of what Commissioner Sharp submitted, and he only requested that we address C and H, which you can see on the screen is has like the cross out. And so if you make a motion based off of what is proposed, that is the only thing that's going to be changed in your current policy and procedure.
Thank you. Thank you for stating that.
And that's my understanding of it also.
Okay.
So again, I
Perfect.
make a motion to approve.
I second it.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. I think we're on the last lap, guys. Item F, consider take action on ordinance number 2026-21, amending the City of Texas City's fiscal year 2025-2026 budget pertaining to Texas City Economic Development Corporation, TCEDC demolition account. Ms. Boyd?
Mayor and Commissioners, the Texas City Economic Development Corporation has their own board of directors.
Yeah, thank you. There you go.
The Texas City Economic Development Corporation has their own board of directors, and so they approve or don't any budget amendments, but ultimately the City Commission is blesses the entire budget. So that's why this item and the next item are up for your consideration. This first item, the EDC staff recently was made aware of a potential purchase of a piece of property, which then ultimately will need some demolition work done. And the current demolition account for EDC needs additional funding in the amount of $200,000 that will come from the EDC's undesignated fund balance. So that's the first item.
And that's already been paid for, and we're moving money, or it's something that they're going to do?
It's something that they're going to do. And earlier this afternoon, EDC approved this item.
Most of us were here for the EDC
Yeah.
discussing that matter, and they did approve it. So now we have to fund it, correct?
Yes.
And it was a budgeted item?
Excuse me?
It was a budgeted item? It was in the budget already?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
That's what the budget amendment is here
I'm
for
sorry.
your consideration.
Okay.
Mayor, if I understand correctly, in the EDC meeting, which happened earlier this afternoon, that board, or that, maybe my question is better directed to Ms. Boyd, that board did approve this, and now it's coming to us, is that right?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
I motion to approve it.
There's a motion to approve. Commissioner Tucker, there's a second?
I second.
Commissioner Johnson made a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Item H, consider take action on ordinance number 2026-23, amending the City of Texas City's fiscal year 2025-2026 budget for multiple departments, multiple accounts.
Excuse me, Mayor.
You missed one.
That's not
If it skipped G.
Okay, there we go. Consider take action on ordinance number 2026-22, amending the City of Texas City, that's what you were talking about earlier, fiscal year 25-26 budget pertaining to Texas City Economic Development Corporation, TCEDC, sales tax reimbursement agreement.
The EDC participates in Chapter 380 sales tax reimbursement agreements, and as written in the agreements, participants receive a 50% reimbursement of their sales tax that they generate during the term that's per their contract. 50% of that comes from the general fund, and 50% of that comes from the EDC fund. And so the budget amendment here is requesting an increase in the 380 agreement reimbursement account by $487,500. Again, this will come from the EDC's undesignated fund balance.
Yeah, when you say that it comes from the Economic Development Corporation's budget, it has nothing to do with city revenue? Or
This is all sales tax revenue.
It's sales tax revenue, okay.
And these 380 agreements, it's the property that is part of the 380 agreement and the sales tax revenue that is generated from that specific property.
Was that one also discussed earlier?
It was also at the EDC meeting, yes.
I motion to approve it.
Before we take a motion, if I may indulge Commissioner Tucker.
Can we withdraw the motion?
The motion has
If
been
we could
made.
pause for just a moment. Ms. Boyd, you were kind enough to meet with me on Friday and walk me through some of this because some of the nomenclature was unfamiliar to me. But in the private sector, to the extent we have any bookkeepers or accountants or CPAs in the audience, we would typically call these journal entries, right? And what this is really here is a control that any sort of journal entries, if they're above certain thresholds or above certain criteria, they need to come and be
Right,
approved
which
by the commission.
I'll touch on that at the next two
Oh,
items.
we're coming to that. I'm sorry, I jumped the
Yes.
gun.
And now the motion is reinstated.
I motion to approve line
And I
item
second
G.
it.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Tucker, second by Commissioner Delgado. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Now we're on item H. Consider take action on ordinance number 2026-23, amending the City of Texas City's fiscal year 2025-2026 budget for multiple department municipal accounts. Ms. Boyd?
Mayor and Commissioners, from my discussions and meetings with department heads, for whatever reason, and I don't know the reason why, but the 25-26 budget was only funded for 10 months. Consequently, a lot of budget line items have exceeded the budget, and so I'm bringing this before you and with all that data up there.
Did we jump H?
Budget amendments. And the first grouping, general fund, $1.9 million, and that will come from increased revenue that has been received into the general fund. As of June 17th, the city has received $4.4 million more in property tax revenue than was originally budgeted. So what that means, the 4.4 increase in revenue will more than cover the 1.9 million on the expenditure line items. And then the next item is library grant fund, and we're going to get grant revenue to, the grant revenue will completely offset the expenditure in that grant.
Great.
And then the selective traffic enforcement grant, the STEP grant, that's also a reimbursement grant, so the grant revenue will cover that. Dike fund, the Dike Fund unassigned fund balance for $15,000. Then in the utilities fund, will come from the utility fund unassigned fund balance in the amount of $312,950. And then an Economic Development Corporation unassigned fund balance for $136,475. And then the Cultural Arts Foundation, $1,200 from the Cultural Arts unassigned fund balance.
Commissioners, have you heard at the very beginning, the budget was for 10 months rather than 12 months?
Indeed.
We need to pay some bills, and we need to survive for the last 2 months of the fiscal year.
And this will help us in the audit also, is that correct? The audit? Will it help with that? No?
This is separate from
Oh,
that.
it's- okay.
Any questions for Ms. Boyd?
I do. The need to pay the bills and to fund the operations and make payroll, all those types of things, got it, for sure. We need to operate our city. But if I understand correctly, what Ms. Boyd just said is that the FY 25-26 budget that was passed by the commission last September was for only 10 months. Is that right, Ms. Boyd? Do I understand that correctly?
That's the understanding I got from talking with many department heads,
And I
yes.
mean, we passed it for a certain amount of money. We did not know the time frame. We didn't know it was for 10 months.
Well, can I say?
Yes.
It was called the fiscal, usually that means 12 months.
Hang on, can't hear you.
Usually that means 12 months when they do the budget, it's for 12 months. We didn't ask if it's for 12 or 10 months.
Right.
So
But it was
we
for
would
10
assume, because we were both there, it was for 12 months.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It wasn't an oversight on our part.
Because now Ms. Boyd is very accomplished. And I think, Ms. Boyd, you've got 19 years of experience with this city, in addition to your time in oil and gas and the private sector. Is it common that you see anyone pass a partial year budget when they go to their board or their commission? Because that seemed kind of irregular.
I don't know why it was done this way. I'm just here to present the facts.
Thank you, and thank you for that. Because, Mayor, I looked into it. There's approximately 1,250 cities in the state of Texas. I couldn't find on record anywhere where any city passed a partial year budget. There's no record of that. And I went and read Ms. Rushing's proposal that she presented to this commission, the September 17, 2025. I read the meeting minutes, and what her proposal specifically says is it's a balanced budget, it's revenue neutral, it's flat with the previous fiscal year. So it would seem like what was represented to the public and to this commission was it's a full year's budget. And so I think it presents us with two questions. Was that just a mistake that we funded the city for 10 months? Or if maybe there was a certain political intention there, which is to show the city as revenue neutral and flat and no tax increase needed because maybe we were passing a CO bond. But I think we got to get to the bottom of how did we fund ourselves for 10 months?
And the second thing Ms. Boyd said was we don't know how it happened or what happened or what caused it. So what is the answer?
Well, that's also why I've asked to see records associated with the budget workshop process. So I've submitted a request to the city secretary. I've spoken with IT about this. But I think we need to figure out, was that just a mistake? Was it incompetence? Or was there a deliberate effort to mislead the commission and mislead the public about our fiscal
That could be the second part of this process, but right now we need to approve money for these last 2 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
There were some comments made here in the audience earlier about we're better than that and what is our standard.
Yeah.
I just want to be on the record that it's not our standard to pass a budget for 10 months or deceive this commission. And that we're gonna peel the onion to get to the bottom of this.
Right. Then that's part 2.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah, thank you.
I yield.
Is there any other comments for Ms. Boyd regarding this agenda item? Is there a motion or a second?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I second.
Motion by Commissioner Sharp, second by Commissioner Knoxon. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Last but not least, consider and take action on ordinance number 2026-24, ratifying budget adjustments made to the City of Texas City's 25-26 fiscal year budget prior to July 1st, 2026. Ms. Boyd?
Mayor and Commissioners, it is true that budget adjustments, whether they be transfers or amendments, are done routinely throughout the fiscal year. City Commission approval is needed for creation of a new accounting fund, transfers between funds, no matter the amount, transfers between departments, no matter the amount, or transfers greater than or equal to $50,000 between accounts in the same department. Budget adjustments have been done over the course of the current fiscal year, either between funds, between departments, or between accounts in the same department. And of the 160 budget adjustment journals, that's transfers or amendments, done so far in fiscal year 26, 40 should have been brought before council or commission for approval. And so that's what the spreadsheet shows here, the transfers between departments, between funds, et cetera. And just for comparison purposes, I looked over the last 10 fiscal years. The average number of adjustments, be it transfers or amendments, has been 57 total.
Wow.
Per year, over the 10 years average.
Any questions for Ms. Boyd?
I just want to compliment Ms. Boyd for digging into this and peeling an onion, just for any members that are here looking at those spreadsheets. Unless you're a super nerd like me or an accountant, that could make your eyes glaze over. But I do appreciate Ms. Boyd digging into this, because if I understand you correctly, Ms. Boyd, this is really stuff that's already happened, right? It's after the fact. This is a housekeeping
Correct.
item.
That's why I said ratify, because when the auditors do come in, they look at these sorts of things.
Which then leads to a topic Ms. Tucker was asking about, which is, will this help us with the audit? I would agree this does.
Yes.
But with auditors coming in and looking at our budget and realizing that we passed a budget for 10 months, so then we could come back and then amend the budget and pull money from other places so that we can make payroll, it seems like that's a really naughty thing for auditors.
Well, they will look at the original budget versus the revised budget, and they'll make sure that commission approved the changes as is required as part of their review of the books. That's part of their audit.
So Mayor, just in summary, Ms. Boyd is excellent. I appreciate her making time, educating me on these things. When I read the agenda, this seemed like a lot of irregularities. And then I also just want to compliment that one of your first actions when you came into office was to make some staff changes. I think looking at the overall body of evidence here, it was very justified. It was a very necessary thing. And I thank you for that, making those bold changes.
We don't discuss personnel matters.
I'm sorry about that. Apologies.
Any other questions for Ms. Boyd?
Motion to approve.
I second that.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Knoxon, seconded by Commissioner Tucker. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Boyd. Commissioners' comments. Let's see how long we're going to be here. We'll start with Commissioner Delgado.
I just want to go back to a comment I made earlier about Barbara White. I see Barbara White often, and she's right there. And it occurs to me, not everybody in the audience know that she and I have, I think, a very close relationship. She is a treasure, so I just want to set the record straight. For Barbara White or for any other members of the public present, bring us your announcements. That's what we're here for. So Barbara will always make your announcements.
Well, after this meeting, we may not need to, right? Yeah, Commissioner Sharp.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to
got to
say,
get
listening to all this that we've been talking about tonight,
Speaking.
Can you hear? No, they can't hear.
I feel that we're going to need to work on our debt governance. So I think we're going to need in the future that it might be a good idea to come up with a resolution that would protect the city and everyone from financial mismanagement. We need to come up with a resolution to make some kind of standards there. And besides that, I want to say that that was a great proclamation you did. And Nicole is great. And I want to say that about a comment that was made. In January, that was changed. The vote was in August. So between January and August, that would be by themselves without a vote. That's unilaterally. That's what that is. So I rest. Go ahead.
Thank you. Commissioner Johnson?
The only comments I got is I just want to wish everybody a happy 4th and a safe 4th, whether you're traveling out of country or state. I guess it would be a different country going to D.C. So hope everybody comes out for the parade, which is Saturday. I don't think you were going to get up and talk about it in Freedom Fest and stuff. So that's all I got, man.
Thank you, Commissioner Johnson. Commissioner Getchis?
I'd like to express my appreciation for the mayor and council for bringing back public comments. Today, I'm just proud to be part of this council, that it was the mayor's right to take a privilege from us. Now, we as council are taking that same right and bringing the privilege back to the people. The people needed a voice to speak. At the same spirit, I'd like to propose that we live broadcast these meetings. I don't see a single reason we can't. I understand there may be some grandstanding by council members or people, but that's part of the process of the people. I'd also like to request, and I'm not sure how I do it, that both of the police associations come before the council and explain their positions, and if they can be brought together somehow. I don't know what the process is. I don't know what they're doing, but I'd like an explanation for the council people. Also, I think the people deserve a request of knowing how we're going to select a chief of police. What's going to happen? What's a timeline? What's the criteria? What's the selection process? If we have it established, I think the people have a right to know. And I also support our interim chief. I think he's doing a great job, but I would like to see an updated clear organizational chart, and I'd like the public to know how many officers. If this is true, what I was told, we have 7 patrol officers. 2 of those patrol officers on that shift had more than a year's worth of experience. Being a former police officer, we got to have experience back in our city and on each shift. And I'm not saying they don't do a good job, But we've got to look at that as a group. And then I'd like to request that we get data on the arbitration cases at the police department. I don't know what's going on down there. We hear all sorts of rumors. I'd like to hear it from our city attorney to say, we've got this, this, and this happening. We don't have to mention names. We can just say, these are the arbitration or the cases that we've got coming to court. And next is just something for the police department. I'd like to see the Citizens Police Academy start picking up these bandit signs around town. They're all over, it's a nuisance, and I don't know how we got away from it, but I'd like to see those picked up. And the last thing, all this is going back to, I think we need an investigative officer or law firm to find out what's really happened. This was a typical example. We don't know why this happened. Only 40, or they need to approve 40 different transfers of money. I've got a lot of questions about what's happened at the police department. I hear the officer's side, I hear the city side. I don't know what the truth is, and I don't think any of us up here know, but if we had one person or one law firm to look into matters that have occurred within the city, it would be beneficial to me. But those are my thoughts, and I hope we move forward. I know we've got to move forward, but to move forward, we've got to see what we did in the past. And I believe in that. But thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Tucker?
I would like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. We had a big crowd. And so 4th of July this weekend, it's 250th anniversary of America, or the Constitution. We need to celebrate in Texas City. We have the dike, we have Moses Lake you can fish on. We're having great parade and all that activity on 6th Street. Take pride in your city, and it's got to start with you. You've got to be the one that goes out and starts the movement to take pride in your city. Thank you.
Commissioner Noxon?
Well, I was honored to, I guess, read the last reading from Ms. Barbara White. Ms. Barbara White says she needs school supplies by July 24th and hygiene items and new tennis shoes by August 6th. I also need volunteers at the front of Blocker Middle School at August 8th. I don't have my readers on, sorry. Then she says she needs, she needs volunteers for the Valero Backpack Drive and giveaway. And she will have still writing cursive, huh?
Can I read it?
Hey, Mary, if you don't mind, we can just give her the honors if you don't want it. Yeah, I'm having a hard time, but I can have readers on. Yeah,
okay.
Go ahead.
You know she has to ask for something. I need school supplies by July 24th and hygiene items and new tennis shoes by August the 6th. I also need volunteers on August the 8th at the Blocker Middle School gym from 9 a.m. to 1 for the Valero backpack giveaway. I will have a box by my front porch at 2432 29th Avenue, or call me at 409-739-2268 for pickup. And you can also, if y'all need anything, you can drop it off at our office on Palmer at Etheridge.
Thank you, Commissioner Noxon.
Whoa, he didn't finish.
I see what you did there, Brian. I see how you passed it off to me. I see what you did. Just wanted to make a few announcements. This past Saturday, I had the privilege to read a proclamation for Miss Jerry Lee Owens. She turned 100 years old. She's a resident of District 1. She's been here in Galveston County her entire life. She's a matriarch of Progressive Missionary Baptist Church, which is also located in District 1. So she had a great celebration. I was happy to be there to honor her in turning 100 years old. And just want to piggyback to the addressing the commission. Again, I support that. That's one thing I've consistently campaigned on. When people have asked me, what does a commissioner do? I would express, our role, and then they'll ask about, well, what happens at the city commissioner meeting? And I say, well, hey, if you ever want to come there, and that's the way that you can hold your commissioners accountable. If you reach out to us and we're unresponsive, or if we don't bother to follow up with you, I tell them all the time, I say, hey, all the department heads are right there, the mayor's right there, the commissioners are here. So I've supported public comments, but what I will not support is disrespect. What I do not support is insults. What I do not support is attacks on city staff. We ask pastors to come here. We have Boy Scouts that come here. So that's what I look for when we allow commissioner comments to address the commission. So just want to make sure I'm clear on my stance on that item there. And as far as the PFAS goes, May mentioned to that. I appreciate Jack. I appreciate Corbin looking into it, the mayor, and I hope we can, get the ball rolling on that. The deadline for that is at the end of this month. So hopefully we can come to some kind of understanding and look more into that. But thank you all, and happy 4th of July. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Knoxon. I'm going to keep it brief. I was told that this meeting would last until 7 o'clock, and the person who made that comment was right dead on target. This is a long meeting. I cannot thank you enough for sticking around and listening to what was discussed today. Everything that was discussed was critical. It was either to make things right or to have a toilet that has water to flush. We need, everything that was discussed and done was first class. I really appreciate the department heads for the diligence in doing the investigative work that they did to give us a clear and concise explanation of why we needed to approve the things that we did. I've been told that maybe the TxDOT will complete the project by the middle of July.
I think end of July is safe.
End of July is closer. Yeah, we'll take that. It's been going on for a while, and to have it completed, it's looking kind of really nice right now. So thank you all for doing what y'all are doing. I'll open it up now for the staff to do a blanket. Yeah, please do.
Mayor, commissioners, community, we have so many wonderful things happening for our 250th anniversary. Starting on July the 3rd, we have Yoga in the Park at Carver Park. I believe Carver Park is one of our most phenomenal parks in the city, so be sure to check it out. That day, we're also having a free day at our museum, and that evening, we are showing Top Gun at Carver Park, so come out and enjoy. On Saturday, July the 4th, our Independence Parade starts at 10 a.m. It'll start at the high school and it'll end at our community plaza, where we're introducing a new Freedom Festival. This is a place where our community can come together and we can celebrate our community. This is from 11 until 2, and then another concert will follow that from 2 to 4 at the community plaza. And then in the evening, we have an amazing band coming to Rainbow Park from 7 to 9, and then we'll have our fireworks. So please, I'd love to see you all there. Thank you.
Thank you. Lots of activities. This is good.
Not an announcement, but just something I forgot, and this is the last you'll hear from me. My department is seeking bulletin board locations to share more information and any newsletters we can be a part of or send information out. If you know of any, please let me know. You can also send the information to community development at techcitytx.gov. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'll make one for you right now. We have great facilities around just in our, network ourselves. So Carver Park,
Yes.
Nestle Center, Sanders.
Mhm.
We have a lot of guests who, frequent there. So I think that will help put them out there as well.
So not just our public facilities, but so the senior center here in Tech City is here in this building. I'm looking for maybe not public or city buildings, so I would just want to kind of around the city. So if you welcome any publications or just a flyer, please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other departmental comments?
Derek's back there in the back. We're supposed to take that picture. Everyone's supposed to pick up the flags that Barbie Tucker put on everyone's seat. You're supposed to hold the flag up, turn around, look back at him. At Derek back there. We're going to hold up our flags.
Hold your flags up, turn around. Everybody hold
it.
it.
American City
Sharp.
Commission meeting.
He got you.
Get your flag there. Ready when you are, bud.
On the count of 16.
He's taking a picture of us.
Hey, Goldie. Is he done? Is he done? You going someplace?
One more, or you're done?
You got it? Or you want another? All
right, everybody, flags
one
on.
more from this side. Let's earn your keep.
Now he's
Everybody.
saying, now he's saying another one.
Oh, I know there's more flags than that.
Everybody should
Thank you, everyone. Have a happy 4th, everyone. Meeting's adjourned.
There you go.
Hey, that was wild. You did a great job. Great job, everybody.